What's up? What's up? Sundays for NASCAR crew. How's it going, Nick?
What's going on, Joe? How'd you like the race today?
It was a very intense one at Texas Motor Speedway, going off for racing for this bad boy right here,
Yep.
championship trophy. It's getting tight and it's getting stressful.
Oh yeah, we're getting into the nitty gritty here. Where there's only 3 races left and only 2 left in this final round before the final 4.
I'm excited. This is the Sundays for NASCAR weekly podcast. Nick, I want to start this thing off by asking, what year is it? Dude, I thought I was like in 1999 again, watching the Rainbow Warrior and the Intimidator side by side.
Dude, I was losing my mind. I was like, wow, this is just like Jeff and Dale all over again, man. But it's 2021.
Man, dude, and it was, I'm going to catch hell for it, but he was racing like Dale too, pushing cars aside, man, running top 3 all day long. Awesome stuff.
Dude, Tyler Reddick was definitely killing it today. I mean, I have him next year going possibly to the round of 8. I mean, Tyler Reddick is showing up, and he is doing some work with RCR, man. So I'm proud of him.
Definitely is. Well, if you guys drop in the comments, let me know how you guys felt about this Texas race. Did it show up? I was glued to the TV the entire time, which I typically hate the whole PJ1 racetracks, and I hate just like you do too, Nick, but this one was intense, very intense. Starting off, we'll just go right into it. Lap 31, man, we had the humongous wreck.
Running next to Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace has slowed down trying to catch clean air. By the time he realized he was already turned around, wrecking almost half of the field. Absolutely insane here. Only lap 31 at Texas Motor Speedway.
Bubba, what happened?
Who knows, man? I thought for a fact, I thought for sure that Kurt Busch was going to be in the middle of that because he was right on the outside.
But I thought, well, when I first saw it happen, so Dale Jr. scared the shit out of me, screaming. We got, bro, I was just like, Jesus, I had to catch my breath for a second. But then I was like, okay, that's a pretty big wreck. Talladega, Daytona 500 feels, vibes, dude, intense. And then I saw the replay. I thought that Kurt Busch had gotten into Bubba Wallace a little bit, but then watching it 2 or 3 times, you could see, nope, he just kind of swerved down trying to catch clean air, honestly.
Yeah, that actually was a wild wreck. I was expecting maybe something like that, maybe not to the extreme, like because it was so big. There was like 10, 12 cars involved. But
right.
A lot, Alex Bowman out of the race, Bubba Wallace out of the race, just a whole bunch of them back there in probably about 20th to 30th place. And it definitely shook up what we were going to see for the rest of the race.
Yeah, definitely. And Kyle Busch ended up taking it in. Kyle Busch was also involved in that big wreck, catching minor injuries, or damages, as no injuries, but it could have been very detrimental for him in the playoffs, not being able to do as well as he did in this race. Winning stage 1, very great for playoff 1 point, and glad to see Kyle Busch. Like I said earlier in the season, I said that Kyle Busch was probably going to be one of the top contenders last Final Four, and I'm still calling that with Kyle Larson all day long. Winning. Kyle Larson, number 5, baby.
Well, don't forget your boy William Barron, who almost took it from him.
Yeah, William Barron, man, did fan-freaking-tastic, and I was at the edge of my seat. We had like 3 or 4 restarts at the very end, and I was just like, dude, so Kyle Larson kept getting pushed by William Byron every restart, and then William Byron's like, all right, I'm going to take this for the win. I'm going to start choosing the outside lane. And I think it kind of made Kyle Larson nervous, but man, Larson launches every time that he just gets pushed, and when he gets pushed right out of turn 1, he's gone.
That's exactly how every single race restart went, honestly. And The people pushing behind, as long as there was a good pusher behind Kyle Larson, he just kept on going. And so second and third usually ended up trying to battle for second place, and Larson was just able to take off, man.
Yeah, he definitely did. What's up, William? How you doing, man?
Woohoo!
I actually saw him comment earlier on Facebook. Texas looked pretty empty in the stands, and it was kind of disappointing with it being a playoff race. But yeah, I got to agree with him. It did look empty in the stands.
Yeah, absolutely. But it did end up being a great race. I'm not usually a big fan of Texas Motor Speedway or like the majority of the mile and a half. So I don't think the package is really there. But Texas did end up producing a great show today.
Yeah, definitely. You know, with Kyle Larson winning stage 2 and winning the W, taking it home, the 8th win, that's impressive, man. What's Hendrick Motorsports doing that the rest of the team cannot seem to catch up with?
You know, I'm not sure. I was going to ask, about like Brad Keselowski finally showing up, Kevin Harvick, same thing. Like all of a sudden, these in the playoffs, all these guys that haven't really done anything all year are apparently, just as quick, just as fast and everything. But Hendrick Motorsports still has that little extra edge.
Yeah, definitely. They're doing fantastic. And I saw Joe Gibbs. They caught a lot of crap at the end, man, with Denny Hamlin got caught up with 2 wrecks. Martin Truex Jr. got caught up in a huge wreck, and it knocked him out of the race for the rest. I forgot what he ended up finishing, but it's not good for him being in the playoffs or Denny Hamlin being in the playoffs. What do they need to do different? I don't know. Honestly, it's coming back to where Martin Truex, he has to make a win for him to go into the next Final Four.
Yeah, he ended up finishing minus 22 out of the cut line. Denny Hamlin still above the cut line, even though he had a bad day. But it's not by very much. Chase Elliott right there, just below the cut line. Kyle Busch right there above the cut line. So
we got fact checker Charlie chiming in. Truex 25th.
Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that.
Well, definitely not as bad as it could have been, but earlier on with the race, we had Alex Bowman was out, lap 31. We had a bunch of people that just got out. A lot of low-tier teams, but then there were some good drivers that got caught up in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex Bowman, well, everybody, no playoff drivers were caught up in that, so that was a little bit nice for those guys. But, Alex Bowman, if you're a fan of him, he was out early. Bubba Wallace, same thing, out early, was your last week's winner. And not last week's, 2 weeks ago at Talladega was your winner and was out early again today. So that's unfortunate for both of those guys. And honestly, I'm not sure exactly who all was in that, but I can look it up right here. We got Ryan Newman, Eric Almirola, Kyle Busch we talked about, Bubba Wallace we talked about, Michael McDowell, Ryan Preece. Here we go. You want to talk about Anthony Alfredo? Because he was involved in that too.
Yeah, he definitely got caught up in that, and he caught some damage, and he ended up being able to make the minimal speed where NASCAR let him keep going. He finished almost the entire race. Since you brought it up, I'll let you kick started it off.
Unfortunately, there was I think Kyle Busch got into Chris Buescher, and he was sliding like on the apron and everything, saved it. Amazing save, and was able to keep going. Did not
expect him to.
Oh, no, not at all. But everybody was stacking up, and somebody got into the back of Anthony Alfredo. Alfredo got into his teammate, Michael McDowell, and then he got it all turned around, wadded up into the wall, and he slid down the track and was leaking gas everywhere. And then as soon as the car came to a stop, man, it lit right up
in flames, man.
Oh man, I was actually getting a little worried because the flames were so close to that driver cockpit, and I was wondering, is he going to be able to get out? Is the safety crew going to get there in time? Thankfully, everything was okay.
I was thinking the same thing. I see you saw like how he went to go get out at first, and then he was like, "All right, I'm going to wait." And then I guess the flames built up too much in the car, and he was like, "All right, I got to get the hell out of here. It's getting too damn hot." And then hopped out, and luckily we live in 2021 where the fire suits are actually up to standards. He was able to hop through those flames pretty easily and untouched.
Yeah, unscathed. Thankfully, it's not too often that you see flames in a NASCAR race, but it does tend to happen. So, but
I mean, I think I remember seeing flames on the 4 car when we were at Roval last week. That might have been, you were in complete bliss and euphoria, so you might have not saw the flames. So
I had a blackout moment there at Charlotte when Kevin Harvick hit the wall. He got a little scared of Chase Elliott being right behind him, but no contact, and he just drove straight into the wall. I don't even think he was paying attention.
He didn't have his blinker on or anything. He was not prepared to turn.
Oh man, but yeah, a wild race. There was a bunch of little things that happened. Joey Logano is another one of your playoff drivers that he had a blown motor, so he did not end up finishing this race, and he is at the very bottom. He sits 8th in points in the playoffs.
Yep, he definitely does. And I don't have Chase Elliott.
Uh-oh. I believe we've lost Joa, but I'm still here. So I'm going to continue talking about the race. I'm sure he'll be back just in a minute. It's not too often that Joa actually has technical difficulties. Usually it's this guy right here. But anyway, so we Kyle Busch ended up in that first caution, the big one. He got a little bit of damage, had to come in for 4 tires, but came back and won that stage. And I'm so happy for him because I have him advancing to the Final 4, just like Joa does. And it's good to see Kyle Busch being Kyle Busch again. So Kevin Harvick showed up today. I mean, did a fantastic job. But at first, it didn't seem like he was going to be even relative at all. He was just falling back like crazy. But then all of a sudden, I think he ended up finishing like 4th. So good for, or maybe 5th. But good for Kevin Harvick. Good for Brad Keselowski also showing up today. And so that was great. I just got a message from Joa. His internet is out. So I guess it's up to me to keep this ball rolling. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to keep on moving. I'm trying to think of anything else of note other than what we've already talked about. Yes, I am. Sorry. The red flag for the fire. That didn't last too long. Thankfully, Anthony Alfredo was okay. Fast pasta race another day. Thank God. And, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin ended up getting damage in one of the final restarts. I believe there was 3. There were like 3 final restarts in probably the last 25 laps or so. And he got heavy damage getting into – oh, man.
I'm back.
Ooh, I'm losing it. Hey, Joe's back. I was trying to keep this ball rolling.
I don't know what happened, man. I got kicked out.
No. Well,
you talking about the end
I'm in the middle.
A couple restarts?
Yeah, all those restarts, talking about Denny Hamlin getting damage and whatnot. That's where we're at.
Yeah, man, those damages. I don't know, like you just said, I just caught you here saying if it was 3 or 4. I think it was 4 restarts over like the last like 15, maybe 18 laps. But so where'd you leave off?
Okay, so Denny Hamlin ended up getting into Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher got turned again, so Denny Hamlin got a lot of damage there. That brought out another caution. He was able to stay on the lead lap. One thing that I was a little bit concerned about, I was wondering why Kurt Busch went a lap down about in the middle of the race and had to come in before everybody else did. So he had fresher tires. He was gaining on the pack and whatnot. But for some reason, I don't know why, I must have missed it during the broadcast, but he ended up going 3 laps down because they brought him back into the pit road, and he was never able to gain those back. So
no, he wasn't.
But I mean, earlier in stage 1, he was 6th. So I thought that Kurt Busch may have been a factor today, but unfortunately not.
Unfortunately not. One thing I do want to talk about. So the last time, or this is going to be the last year with Brad Keselowski being in with Team Penske before he moves on with Roush. last time he won the championship, I forget what it was. It was the last year with him and Mopar Dodge, and he brought a championship. I know it's going to be a Cinderella story, but people are talking about it. Does Brad Keselowski have it in him to finish in the Final Four? I went ahead and said no.
No.
The only reason why is because Brad hasn't raced like Brad this year. I've been terrified to put him in my lineup. I know that you guys out there have been afraid. Put him in the lineup. And if you have been, he hasn't been putting those numbers up because I've learned my lesson a couple times.
Yeah, I stopped using them about 12 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah, well, it's just kind of cool to think about because anything could happen. Wrecks can happen. We had Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick neck and neck, hating each other for a hot minute. I'm sure they're still not over it. NASCAR stepped in, said that y'all need to chill out a little bit. Well, Papa Hendrick had a lot to do with that, but he's like, hey, man, hold on.
Well, I was gonna say that, back at the Roval, Chase didn't retaliate, or we never actually got the chance to see if he would retaliate because he was coming up on Harvick quick. But
retaliation, definitely were going to see a retaliation, but karma's kicked in, and he's like, you know what, or maybe NASCAR would have done something if Chase would have retaliated, or even worse, someone really could have gotten hurt. So,
yep. Absolutely.
Everything happens for a reason. I'm a strong believer in that, and it is what it is. Move on and have a happy off season and a Merry Christmas.
That was awesome. I thought that was pretty cool.
Silly.
Kyle Larson locked in. I don't think anybody, even if he didn't get a win in this round, I'm pretty sure everybody still had him in the Final Four. So that didn't really affect the points too much. So, but as of right now, Kyle Busch in the positive. Denny Hamlin in the positive, Ryan Blaney in the positive. So,
man, Ryan Blaney, and let's talk about him for a second because we have his Gordon. Todd Gordon is about to leave. This is his last year. He's retiring, and I'm awesome for Todd Gordon. He was with Brad Keselowski when they got the championship, so that would be really cool for Todd Gordon to bring home a championship. Yep. The year he retires.
I believe he was with Joey Logano when he
Joey Logano, my bad.
Yes, he was with Joey Logano. But I had Ryan Blaney out. I wanted to think that he could make the Final Four, and he very well may do so. But I was just a little bit worried about that whole Penske group in general. I thought that the Chevrolets were going to be strong. I agree with you with Kyle Busch making the next round, so that really only left one extra spot, and I didn't really know where to go. I almost wanted to have Joey Logano in, but after today's race, he's dug himself into a hole. He's gonna have to dig himself right back out. His
motor catching fire, man, completely blew the thing and just went straight to the garage. There was more smoke coming off him than there was with Anthony Alfredo. For real though.
Typically, we don't see a lot of blown motors anymore. That they're actually pretty strong, and I always love the broadcast though because they always ask the same question when somebody blows a motor. Do you have any idea that that was about to happen? Like, did it give you any indication? I'm like, somebody ask a different question when somebody blows a motor.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous, but not. We saw some great racing, and again, let's just look at it again, man, because even before we came on show, you were talking about this photo right here.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Would you just look at it? Look how beautiful it is.
Just take a look at it. Man, I love it. We had some friends over here watching the race, and I kept telling, I said, Mark, doesn't that remind you of the 90s back when you used to watch this and everything? Old man, Papa Mark.
He's our dad. He's our NASCAR dad.
He is. But yeah, it was so cool to see. I kept seeing it. I was like, man, when they're right next to each other, I'm like, look, it's Jeff and Dale. I don't even know who's driving those cars now.
I know, man. Like I kept looking up every now and again and seeing that, and just like nostalgia just overtook, and I was just like, wait, deja vu for a second. I mean, I was coherent and everything, but it's just like, whoa. It was just it was different. It hit differently seeing that on and I was glad to see those colors in the top 5 all day long, or not all day long, but a majority of the end of the race. So
Well, just like at the Roval, William Byron, my boy, 24. Man, he was so close to winning the Roval race. Unfortunately, didn't. Got spun out with like 2 laps to go or so. Same thing here. I was rooting for him. Nothing against Kyle Larson, your boy, but 8 wins. I'd like to see somebody else win. It's almost like Kevin Harvick or Denny Hamlin last year.
Getting repetitive.
Just wins, and it does. It gets a little bit old. So I'd like to see, like, even Tyler Reddick. If Tyler Reddick had won this race, I would have been freaking out.
Right. Yeah, that would have been really cool for Tyler Reddick.
And that Dale Earnhardt paint scheme back in Victory Lane, man. Dude, people would have lost their freaking minds.
They definitely would. And I was thinking the same thing. But then again, I got to love it for Team Hendrick dominating this year. You're right. It does get a little repetitive, but he's breaking some history, man. And it's fun to watch a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Locked himself in to the final 4. So we are racing for 3 more spots, boys. And
3 more spots.
I don't know who's going to make it. I mean, I'm going to pull for Chase Elliott.
Let's go ahead and talk about our picks that we had going out. I'll go first. I had Martin Truex Jr. out of this round. I have Joey Logano out of this round. I have Brad Keselowski out of this round. And I have Chase Elliott out of this round.
He's killing me, man. He's killing me.
I know it is, man. And the only reason I have nothing against Chase, he's a good driver. I don't think that NASCAR can step in all they want, but feelings when you're out on the track, I feel like he's gonna get caught up in something he's not supposed to. Like today, he had a bad race day. He just vibrated all day long. He was complaining about, he had debris. He was complaining about his splitter. Just a bunch of things just went downhill for the 9, and him being below the cutoff line already, he just can't have days like that. And that's why I have Chase Elliott out of this round.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you only because we have Kansas and Martinsville to go. And if he doesn't win one of those races, he's not too far out. He could still point his way in, but somebody else also has to have a bad day. I will agree with you on the 2 Penske drivers that you had, Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski. I also have them out, but I'm going to go for a gamble. We didn't see too much of it. I thought if it was a little bit worse and everything, then I would have been a lot happier with my pick to have Denny Hamlin out this round, even though he is, probably the second most dominant behind Kyle Larson. So, but again, only started with, I think, positive 11 and is now only like positive 7. So, anything can happen, just like you said. And we still do have 2 races to go. And even though Joey Logano is minus 22, he could take one of those wins and push somebody else out.
Yep, definitely. And with Martinsville is going to be a retaliation race whenever feelings get hurt. And who knows, it might not be Brad Keselowski. You know who has some feelings hurt against each other? Tyler Reddick and William Byron.
Oh, yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row now that something's happened.
Something's happened between the both of them, and I think that something might happen at Martinsville, and it's going to cause a lot of mayhem on the track.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one because, playoff drivers can get caught up, and just like you said, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, not even in the playoffs anymore, but can catch somebody that is and completely ruin their day, completely ruin their chances of even making the Final 4.
Right, exactly. Well, I think that's going to conclude our Texas recap. Texas was awesome, man. I don't say that I dislike Texas, but it's just one of those races that just like Atlanta, you just watch them go around and around. And there was a lot more excitement today than there has been in the past decade at Texas.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. The next time we go to Texas will be the All-Star race next year. So I don't know. Drop it down in the comments. What do you think about the All-Star race at Texas? What do you think about this Texas race in general? Just let us know.
I would like to know. If you guys aren't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go over to our YouTube, Sundays for NASCAR. Hit that subscribe button. We do at-track episodes. They are pretty dope. We've been having some technical difficulties with the camera, but hopefully we get that figured out with where are we going next? Martinsville. Martinsville is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. We have a huge weekend planned out for, I mean, we're bringing our mama and our daddy and our brothers and sisters, man, with us. It's going to be a packed RV.
Yes. We have the entire crew coming with us this time, and then more so, like even our Sundays for NASCAR crew that you guys don't even know of yet, but hopefully in that video you'll be able to meet them. And I don't know, man, the Martinsville I've been looking forward to since like last year when we couldn't go because of COVID. So
well, we were looking forward to, was it last year or the year before? I feel like it's been so long, man.
It feels like forever, but yes, we were supposed to go last year when Chase Elliott won that race, locked himself into the Final Four, and then ended up winning that championship. So kudos, man. I'm so excited. I want to see it happen while I'm there, because the 2 races that I was supposed to go to Martinsville, my favorite driver ended up winning. So now that I go, I'm sure Denny Hamlin's going to win.
Oh, don't even say it.
You never know, man. You never know.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Sundays for NASCAR. My name is Joe Barron.
I'm Nick Rhodes.
And till next week.
Yes, sir. Peace.